Hey guys, it's Deepak Shukla here, and this is going to mark my first day of recording content for you. So I wanted to talk about a video that I watched from I think this guy called Kasra Dash. He's a Scottish SEO slash I guess entrepreneur. Not guess he is, and he was interviewing Ryan Stewart. Now Ryan Stewart's an American guy and from Miami, former Deloitte like myself, probably not more than 5 years older than me, but he's gone to $50 million in revenue across his business lines, all within the world of SEO. And it got me thinking about a key difference between Ryan Stewart's success, 50 million, and mine, 1 to 2 million, and to talk about the things that have. But there's one thing that he said that I think is huge if you're a business owner that's really important to the success that you want to have with your career. So he said, verbatim or close to verbatim, to paraphrase, I've been doing this for a while, 15 years. I want you to think about that, okay? Because watching that video, hearing that statement basically sent shockwaves through me. I mean, 15 years doing one thing is huge. It's a long time, okay? At least it's a long time in today's day and age. I think that one of the reflections I have as I look back at Pearl Lemon, I started the whole agency journey in 2016. And one of the, I think, limitations with my success is distraction, a lack of consistency, and those two things have hampered the success that I've had and how much greater it could be. But what I'm happy about is that realization that, well, you know what? It's a case of consistency. Okay. It's doing something and think about that 15 years. There's going to be less than 20% of the people that are watching that have been doing any one thing with consistency for 15 years. Now, Ryan Stewart tried to exit the agency game. He sold his agency and then he bought the rights to the name, I think, back, and he had zero clients. He talks about these things across a couple of videos that I watched, and I was talking about it with Axel, my business partner for the catering side of the company. And I always, I often used to think that there was a cap upon what's possible within an agency, that there was a band of people who said, well, you can't make that much money as an agency owner. And I combined watching that video with Alex, watching Alex Hormozy, who then talks about, well, given enough time, you can build a billion with a B, $1 billion business in any industry, in any enterprise. That's dry cleaning. That's agency marketing. There's multiple $1 billion marketing companies. Now, the way that it manifests might be different. There might be different aspects of ultimately SEO. It might morph into a lead generation business, and there's legal lead generation firms that do over $100 million a year. I think Walker Advertising, I think, might even be one of them. But the point is that given enough time, you can build anything into $1 billion business. And I say that to you as much as I think I say it to myself, because when we think of, or when I talk about consistency, I think that we use consistency a bit flippantly. You have to be in the game. You have to be doing something for a damn long time to really see what's possible, to really optimize the benefits of it. So when, again, you think long term, consistency has to be part of that vehicle. Consistency has to be part of that journey. So it's a fundamental that we hear about, that we believe that we know the lesson that's attached to it. But when you think about, for example, your journey with optimizing a website for SEO, it's not 6 months, it's not 2 years. It can take 10 years for you to reap the full benefit of having a brand in the marketplace, because we're not just optimizing now for example, Google, which involves digital PR, citations, Web 2.0s, directory listings, national major mainstream press, and you've got billboards, and you've got radio, you've got multiple search engines, okay? You've got YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, the whole process. And this is just the marketing and lead generation side of it, of course, that we're talking about. There's all of the other buckets, delivery and operations, and your learnings as an entrepreneur, your experiences as an SEO. When growing a website, which, and let's think about it. When we're talking about a website, what are we really talking about here? We're talking about the growth of the business. There's $10 million plus companies still here now and today that don't have an online presence. Okay. It might be your door-to-door mailman. It might be the man with a van. It might be a painting, decorating company. It might be a HVAC business. It might be a business in many different niches. Think about all of the developing economies in the world and stuff that's still done physically. So when you think about what a disadvantage you're at because they're not online, it just demonstrates to you the time that's required to optimize for the result that you want. And if the key is growing a substantial business, consistency married with time, and that's the thing that I think that wasn't as explicit, or the thing that I took away in terms of my gap, let's say that I took away from my gap, because perhaps to others it was explicit, as I listened to Ryan Stewart, as I listened to Alex Hormozy, as I heard Kazra Dash interview Ryan Stewart, that you need to build and grow with fierce consistency. Fierce consistency. And again, it's that age-old adage. It's not the one press up that will lead you to success. It's the one press up every day that you incrementally improve that will lead you to increasing and improving the amount of press ups that then you optimize for more press ups, better press ups, and then even new types of press ups to follow the more better new process by Alex Hormozy, that then you can generate an incredible result. But that begins, what is layered underneath it is consistency. I'm going to take myself as an example. I posted an update on Facebook saying, hey, today's going to be day one of recording videos. And I'm recording right now in Zoom. I've flipped my entire, let's see if I can get this focus back. I've flipped my entire room around so that I've got a background behind me that's the cupboards. I've turned everything around to get ready for these videos, and the zoom is out of focus. There's different problems. I probably need to turn off the autofocus within the webcam, or it's come back now. But the important thing is not only getting started, because getting started is easy, and getting started is something that I'm doing today. Getting started is something that I've done umpteen times, but consistency of work ethic and incremental improvement consistently over time is very, very, very difficult to do. All of the great businessmen, athletes, everyone talks about it. It's consistency. I watched a YouTube short with Cristiano Ronaldo the other day saying, look, I can give you the map, but do you think you can do it? Because I can give you the map, but it's not only difficult work, it's a difficult life. And that's the challenge that comes with mind-boggling or maddening consistency. It's the mind-boggling boredom that comes with it. It's the ease of distractions. It's saying no. It's going through the curve, the bathtub effect, when you bottom out, when you're not getting a return, when you built all of the videos, when you've done that, you feel that you put the work in and you're not getting the result that you want. It's just too easy to give up. It's very, very difficult. Consistency is extremely difficult, because one of the other things that Ryan Stewart talks about was, he's like, when people say to me that they're not getting enough of the inquiries that they want for their business, they're not getting enough inbound leads. And he says, okay, pull up any one of your social media profiles. And he says, I think it's a joke. He's been consistently producing content for the last 15 years. I have been producing content for probably the last 15 years. I'm 38 this year. So that would mean from when I was 23, but I've not been consistent. Maybe I have been consistent, but should I get the rewards because I've not been consistent enough? There's others that have optimized better for it. And I think that this is the key thing that I want to communicate, that it's hard. I find it hard. I find it tough. I'm 15 years into producing content, and I'm still making these issues with focus. I still don't know how to use OBS, which apparently is the best recording software for my Windows device. I haven't optimized processes so that I've got a system whereby I don't even need to know, because I've got a team who can record content for. There's many layers to it. But, and this is the thing that I think that also isn't communicated enough. But the reason it's only accessible in some regards to so few, and you, and I hope that I one day can be part of that few, is because it's hard. The simple stuff is the hardest stuff to optimize for because it's deceptively simple, when in fact, actually, simple makes it really, really, really hard to consistently execute upon over time. And that's the challenge. That's the thing that's difficult to optimize for. That's the thing that's difficult to do when we consider consistency. The day in, the day outness, the getting stuck in every day. So let's think about it now. You've got consistency over time, extremely, extremely difficult. Continuous process improvement, extremely, extremely difficult. Being comfortable with close to zero return for, in my case, potentially decades. Maybe the returns have come, but they are intangible. And you have to be comfortable with optimizing for a projected outcome that may never come. And that's also with the mental discipline to say no to other opportunities. Because the bigger or the more success that you have, the inherently more difficult it becomes to continue the very thing that made you successful in the first place. Because then you encounter competing philosophies. What got you here won't get you there. That's one of the philosophies. But one of the other things that people talk about is that the biggest mistake that you sometimes see, and this is in the Slight Edge by something Olson, he says the biggest issue that he sees in the plateau, the glass ceiling, the limit that many entrepreneurs reach is at the moment they become successful, they stop doing the very thing in the beginning that actually made them successful. So for me, when I look back at the early stages of my journey as an SEO, I went on to 30, 50, 70 plus podcasts. It's not a lot by today's standards. People do that in 3 months. They get on to 200 plus podcasts. I think that Benjamin Hardy spoke about, so Benjamin Hardy, amazing author, he spoke about getting onto, he spoke about getting onto 250 podcasts in 3 months. And here's me with my 50, 70 number. And it's nowhere near ultimately enough, but it was okay then. And now I've gone back to zero. So here is an example of the great challenges of consistency, that there's distractions and that tasks can metamorphosize, but then actually some tasks, and this is the irony as you learn, some tasks should remain the same. Consistently produce high quality content, consistently produce high quality content, which means having a high quality message, which means learning something new or giving extreme value to the marketplace on a continuous basis based upon what you've read, what you've experienced, and your perception. My perception as a British Indian entrepreneur, as someone who's relocated to Italy, as someone who gets distracted all the time, who's got a close to ADHD brain because I'm trying catering, I'm trying legal, I'm trying accounting. When should I? I should keep my roots within SEO. All of these insights or all of this background comes into how I deliver this advice, this simple, simple advice that if you want to increase the amount of leads that you generate, if you want to optimize your website for technical SEO, for link building, for generating more inquiry, if you want to grow your business, consistency of action is something that I want to drill into your headspace today. There's no other single action over the course of time that's going to serve you more. If you look underneath and it's not because we get very much involved in the tactics and the strategy and the mindset, but part of this it's so difficult. It's what does Cristiano Ronaldo, what does any musician you can think of, what does Cristiano Ronaldo, what does Madonna, what do Bill Gates, what do these Ryan Stewart, Alex Ormo, what do these people all have in common? Maddening consistency of effort over time, over years and decades. Decades of consistency will typically lead to an outsized return on investment, because what people are very good at being consistent with is being inconsistent or leaning into other spaces when it comes to Netflix or whatever the latest fad might be. So the continual need, and this is the key for search engine optimization as well, that great content will stand the test of time. Great content will always be rewarded. Great content will naturally proliferate all by itself without you needing, when given enough time, if you optimize over time, you can get the most outsized return if you focus on producing consistently or consistently producing a really high, ultimately quality piece of content or contents. Isn't that right, Jenny? I'm going to show you my cat because she just come in. Hey, look at that. Off you go. And to hammer that home, I've got an example for you. The Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, Origin of Species, Shakespeare, the Henry Ford motor story. It goes on, it goes on, and it goes on. If you are consistent over a given enough time frame, you can achieve within your business the most ridiculous results.